Vevor. Tough tools, half price. What the heck is this? So check it out. I got a package from Vevor. Tough tools, half the price. Let's see what that's all about. Let's open it up. Okay, so right on top, we have some hardware, a honey gate. Can you guess what's in the box? Is it an extractor? And we've got our instructions. We'll lay that down here on the ground and we'll keep unboxing. Next layer, we've got some foam. We got what looks like some legs, stainless steel legs, and we've got our extractor basket. Let's pull it out and see what it looks like. Our box is empty. Let's take a look at this extractor. So if you count these as individual items, I guess there would be two. You've got your extractor itself, the legs, well, three. Instructions, hardware, and a honey gate. Let's take this plastic off of this and see what this extractor looks like. This is how I open stuff on Christmas too, in case you're wondering. I'm not one of them people that rip the tape off, slowly unwrap the package. Nope. Poof. Jason's got his open. Ta-da! Okay, so looking at it here real quick, honey gate would go on down here. Here we got our name tag. We got our motor, which spins this basket, and this is a 4-frame basket. We'll go over that in a few minutes. We've got our control right here. Here's our run, stop, our cord, and I believe in this plastic, we're going to find our lids. Oh, wow. I'm going to be able to see when I'm extracting. Pretty cool. So these will go on here something like that. We can see our hinges are already attached to the extractor, so all we have to do is attach them to the lids themselves. So I gotta tell you, my first impression, I'm pretty impressed. Everything's stainless. I didn't even get that with my Mattison extractor, and that's made here in the United States. I'm gonna go over it, go over the instructions, and then we'll throw these legs on, mount these lids, put in our honey gate, then we'll give this thing a try and see how well it works. Let's sort out the hardware. These bigger bolts, they're gonna be to put the legs on. These washers, I'm gonna guess, they probably go with the bolts. So give each bolt one washer. These other screws and bolts here are all to put the lids on. So we're gonna start doing that right now. We're gonna take one of these little screws and one of these little nuts, and we're gonna begin. Okay, so we've got our lids here, and one thing I wanna point out is you can actually put these on the wrong side. If I put this one on this side and this one on this side, I don't think that's correct, and I'll tell you why. This little screw head here on both sides is magnetic, and when you flip the lid up, I think it's supposed to have the metal from the motor to attach to. If we flip these around the right way, or what I believe is the right way, when they're hinged, you're going to see they line up with the motor now. So let's go ahead and hinge one and see how that works out for us. Let's get this cord out of the way so you can see what's going on. Okay, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and flip that hinge down, run our screw through there, come underneath with our nut, and get that started. Now we'll go to the far hinge and get one started in that one. Now I noticed here on this other edge there's this metal clip here on the lid, and what that does is when the lid comes down, it actually presses this safety switch, which probably keeps the basket or stops the basket. So it's kind of like set up like your washing machine. When it's in spin cycle and you open the door, it stops spinning. And it does have a protective film on the bottom here we need to pull off. Maybe we should pull that off before we put too many nuts on the bottom. I'll tell you what you wouldn't want to do when you're putting this together. It wouldn't be super hard to get out because the honey gate hole is still open, but if you dropped one of these little nuts down inside of the extractor, yeah, you could. That'd probably be a good opportunity to say some vulgar words. Ah! I'm not gonna play this game. No way. All right, I'll just get another one to spare you guys the show. Oh, I should have never said anything. Now my fingers are all shaky. There, you can see how the lid stays up now because the magnet is aligned with the motor. All right, let's throw these legs on there. Okay, so this is obviously the foot end. It's got a hole in it to where you can mount it down to the floor or to a skid. What we're gonna do is just lean it back and line up our holes. That scare you? It scared me a little bit, I won't lie. Okay, so the way it works with these legs is you've got these brackets, one at the bottom and one midway up the extractor. You're gonna put your foot of your leg down, of course, and then you get the choice of how high you want your extractor off of the ground. So I'm using the holes to make it tallest because I would like a bucket to fit under my honey gate. Pretty easy to put together. I mean, I've got literally what you see here, maybe 15 minutes. And I wouldn't recommend using an impact or an electric driver on these screws just because you could tighten them too tight and crack the plastic. Most likely, if you hold them with your fingers, tighten the screws, you'll be all right. Okay, so the honey gate obviously goes in this hole, and this part obviously goes outside. It should open upwards, and we've got our little O-ring in there. That's good. There's a little O-ring here at the back of this. We're gonna go ahead and stick that in there, and now I've got to reach down inside the extractor and put this nut on. So it looks like you could go right down through that square hole right down there that I'm pointing at and reach the honey gate. This is a Lovejoy bushing. This goes in between your gear head here when it finally goes out. This is just a replacement part. So keep this in a Ziploc bag and keep it with your extractor. Okay folks, so I've moved this inside on my little porch here, and I've got it plugged in just to try it out. Ain't got any frames in it yet, but I'll tell you, I'm pretty impressed with this little machine. Let me give you a quick rundown here. Right now I've got it on stop. We got a speed controller here. It's almost like a dimmer switch. We turn it to run, and then once you turn the speed up, a green light's going to come on right here. And that's full speed right there. No shaking at all. Now here's what I really like. One of the features I really like. When you open the lid, it stops it. You put the lid back down, and that's all because of these safety switches. And there's one on each side. That's a pretty handy feature. I gotta tell you folks, I'm pretty impressed. I've let this run. I went in the house, did a few things, come back out. Everything is just fine. I'm to the point now I'm ready to open the honey gate. For no more than something like this cost, I think it's a pretty good bargain. It's definitely going to get you started in extracting some honey. I'm not going to say that it's not going to need some maintenance over the years, or some parts couldn't use some beefing up, but for no more than it cost, it's a pretty nice base to start off with. So, the Vevor Extractor, pretty solid machine. For no more than you're paying for this extractor, I think it would be just fine for a beginning beekeeper. I think you would get a couple good years out of it. Then you're probably going to need to maintain it. Maybe beef it up a little bit, if you will. But overall, I think it'd be just fine to get you started. I really like how it's got the safety switches when you open the door. Pretty neat little feature. And they didn't just do that on one door, they did it on both doors. I like the fact that everything on the extractor is stainless. There is no raw steel, there is no painted steel, everything is stainless. The control function works really well. I will say you would probably get less vibration if you were to bolt it down to a floor or maybe to a skid to add some weight to the bottom of it. It did want to do a little dancing sitting in there on my floor, and I had to hold it down at certain times, but I understand I didn't have it bolted down, and I had a lot of weight in there slinging around, so of course it's going to want to jump around. So just a suggestion there, I would bolt it down. Now I do want to note that I only extracted deep frames today, and I had 4 of them in there at a time. But you could have 4 deep frames in there, and you could have 4 medium frames, or you could have 4 shallow frames. So this can do 8 frames at a time. So that's what makes this a pretty nice extractor for no more than you're going to pay for it. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to offer you a 5% discount. And I'm going to leave a link down below. Use a coupon code. Go over to Vevor's website, place your order, use the coupon code, and you're going to save 5%. Pretty cool, huh? So if you'd like to try Vevor, there's a link down below with the coupon code, folks. I'll leave it in the comments and I'll pin it to the top. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, slam that thumbs up button. Thanks.